Okay, bear with me. Here's a little story. About a year ago, I was driving home from work with the radio on. For some reason, I was listening to Simon Mayo. Don't ask me why. And he played a song that I hadn't heard since I was a little kid. And it was very evocative and reminded me of my childhood. But I'd honestly completely forgotten about it up until that point. The song was called Kissing with Confidence. And it's quite a bouncy little sort of 80s pop ditty. It's sung by Carly Simon. But after the record finished, I was straining my ears to hear if he would announce who the actual artist was, because I had no idea at the time. And he very helpfully said that it was by an artist called Will Powers. And he explained that Will Powers was the alter ego of rock photographer Lynn Goldsmith, and then went on to carry on with his trivial life. Now this really piqued my interest because I loved the song. I thought it was fantastic. Quite a fan of sort of 80s country pop at the best of times. So I immediately went home and started researching this Will Powers character. And I tracked down the album on CD Baby. And there it is. This is available right now on CD Baby. Okay, and so I bought it. And I did my usual sort of Google research stroke stalking, and just to see exactly what the story was behind this. And Lynn Goldsmith, if you have not heard of her, is a very, very famous photographer, an extremely good photographer, and she's been in the game for a very long time. Started off as a director of music videos and television programs, then branched off into photography. Started her own company, took loads of very famous photos you'll have seen all over the place of the Stones, Frank Zappa, people like that, all the rock royalty of the day. Then she eventually sold her company, I think, to Corbis, made a whole bunch of cash. Good on her. And ever since, she's just been a working artist, doing a lot of self-portraits, which is kind of weird and unsettling. But I'd like to talk a little bit about Will Powers and this album. It is a fantastic album. It's a very strange album, very strange indeed. Let me tell you a little bit about it. There's 8 tracks on it, and each one of them it's like a self-help CD with everything that would entail. And most of the tracks are basically danceable backing. With sort of vignettes of Lynn Goldsmith playing different characters with different accents on, sort of explaining their problems, and then coming on as Will Powers, which seems to be her voice slowed down, which is quite unnerving, giving advice to these characters in the songs. Somebody would say, I'm from Brooklyn, I lost my job, and now I ain't got no money, what am I going to do? And then Will Powers comes on and says, be true to yourself. You must learn to roll with the punches and get back on your feet, and that sort of thing. And it's really campy, and it's very odd, and it's really weird. But the best thing about it is, and all my research points to this being true, it's totally sincere. It's not supposed to be a parody of 80s self-help CDs or texts, I'm sure were going around a great deal at the time. It is totally sincere, and that Lynn Goldsmith, in her Will Powers guise, genuinely wants and wanted to help people. And she's got something called the Will Powers Institute. I'm quite sure what it involves. There is a website for it. It doesn't have any content on it particularly. But she's doing this to this day. I mean, I've been lucky enough to actually send Will Powers an email about some problems I was having artistically. And Will replied, and I was stunned. And I've actually printed out the email. It's up on the wall of my studio over here, so whenever I feel a little bit demotivated, I just have a read of it. And it's fantastic, and it really helped me out and made me feel a lot more positive. And it's just great to know that there's an individual out there who's tremendously successful themselves, who takes the time out to help people in a sort of really quite light-hearted, sort of tongue-in-cheek kind of a way. But as an album of music, it is fantastic. And this album has got such a pedigree, you would not believe it. It was produced by Todd Rundgren. Steve Winwood plays on it. Sting plays on it. Robert Palmer, I think, either helped with the studio time or had some sort of producing role in it. Nile Rodgers wrote one of the songs on it. Sly and Robbie are on it. Carly Simon, as I said, sings Kissing with Confidence, the big single and the big hit. Nile Rodgers, everybody is on it. There's a thank you list that reads like a who's who of Hollywood, basically. So this lady has got a lot of backing, and a lot of people put a lot of time into it. If you search YouTube for Will Powers, you'll see probably the video for Kissing with Confidence, which is really weird. There's a video for Adventures in Success, which is also really weird, but good fun, and you'll spot Meatloaf in the video as a cameo. There's some skits on as well where they came from with Will Powers, which involve people like Eric Clapton saying things like since I met Will Powers, I can now play more than 5 notes a minute or something ridiculous. It's just brilliant, and you can tell this lady has got a lot of affection from a lot of very, very famous and well-connected people, and rightly so. She seems to be something of a gem. She seems terrific, and genuinely a very nice person. So the album is called Dancing for Mental Health. There is a track on it called that, and you could probably guess what it is, but please do buy it. It's not expensive from CD Baby. Please buy it. It is a terrific record. It's the weirdest album you'll ever own. And I must say, I did kind of over-listen to it when I first bought it. I had it on repeat in my car for like 2 weeks, and I started going a bit crazy. But in a good way. It makes you feel very positive, very empowered. You think, yeah, the world is mine. I can do what I like. The world is out there for me to take if I work hard and if I concentrate and focus myself. There's nothing on here that you haven't already heard in various different self-help books and TV programs and stuff like that over the years. But the fact that it's packaged in this wonderful digital dance kind of very much of its time 80s musical landscape makes it just so strange. It's just so weird, and it's a sort of thing that could only have existed as almost like a sort of vanity project, I suppose. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's a project that no record company would in the right mind have agreed to do or release unless it had the backing of so many famous people and so many talented and creative people. So if you've Googled Will Powers, or you've Googled Lynn Goldsmith, and you've come across this video hoping for some answers as to what on earth is going on, I hope I've helped. There is a Will Powers blog on Blogspot, you'll find it if you Google, where Will has posted quite a few entries, sort of inspirational messages about a variety of things. It's not updated very much. I wish that Lynn would update it more because it is fantastic. I'm subscribed to it, but nothing seems to come through ever. And you won't find much else. The Wikipedia entry for Lynn Goldsmith is criminally short. Criminally short. So if there's any more information out there, I would add it myself. But she seems to be quite a private person, which is fine, great. She's on Facebook and things like that. She seems to add people if you want to add her. And yeah, just get into it. Will Powers. Lynn, if you're watching this, let's have more Will Powers, please. The world needs more Will Powers. Get it done. That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.